You thought it was harmless. You pulled the leftovers from the fridge, maybe zapped them in a microwave for a few minutes, and ate without a second thought. After all, food is food, right? If it was safe yesterday, it must be safe today. But what if that convenience was quietly harming you? What if those reheated meals, the ones you rely on during busy days or quiet evenings, were slowly loading your body with toxins? Or even worse, what if they were increasing your risk of something as terrifying as cancer or dementia? Most people would never imagine that certain everyday foods, common, innocent, even healthy when freshly cooked, could transform into something harmful the second they're reheated. But doctors and researchers around the world are starting to sound the alarm. In this video, we're revealing 5 common foods that may become toxic when reheated, and why science says you should think twice before putting them in the microwave again. Stick around to the end, because the last food on this list is one you probably eat weekly. And once you know what it can do to your brain, you may never look at it the same way again. Let me tell you about a woman named Sharon. She was 64, a mother, a grandmother, the kind of person who brought a salad to every picnic and labeled leftovers in neat containers. She took care of her health, ate vegetables, avoided sugar, and never smoked. But Sharon developed strange symptoms. First, it was brain fog, just little forgetful moments. Then mood swings. Finally, a tremor in her left hand. Doctors initially thought it was stress. But as it worsened, tests revealed early-stage neurological damage. The shocking part? Her toxicology report showed high levels of nitrosamines, compounds known to damage brain tissue and potentially contribute to dementia. Where do they come from? Not chemicals, not the air, but from something she was doing every day. Reheating spinach. Spinach, when fresh, is packed with nutrients, folate, iron, vitamins. But when cooked and then reheated, it undergoes a dangerous transformation. The nitrates in spinach, normally harmless, can turn into nitrites and then into nitrosamines, especially under high heat. Nitrosamines are chemical compounds that are linked to cancer and brain toxicity. And they don't taste bad. They don't smell funny. You won't know they're there. But they accumulate. Sharon never knew. She thought she was doing everything right. She was simply eating leftover spinach soup. And now, she'll spend the rest of her life managing symptoms she never saw coming. Spinach isn't alone. It's not the only healthy food with a dark side. Another one? Mushrooms. Sounds surprising, doesn't it? Mushrooms are earthy, low-calorie, full of antioxidants. But they also contain proteins that are very sensitive to temperature. When cooked, those proteins change structure. That's normal. That's cooking. But when mushrooms are reheated, especially in a microwave, the proteins break down again, and the result isn't just lost nutrients. It's the formation of toxic compounds and oxidized proteins that your body struggles to process. A man named Gerald learned this the hard way. He loved his mushroom risotto, made it in bulk every weekend. Ate it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Always reheated it. Always in the microwave. He began experiencing digestive issues. Cramping. Inflammation. He thought it was just age. Maybe IBS. But his doctor asked about his diet. Gerald mentioned the mushrooms, the microwaving, the leftovers. The doctor froze. Turns out, reheated mushrooms had become the silent culprit behind his gut inflammation. The proteins in the mushrooms had degraded so badly that they were causing toxic reactions in his body, leading to chronic gastritis. After removing them from his routine, Gerald improved within weeks. Mushrooms are incredible when eaten fresh. Even when cooked, if they're consumed immediately, they're safe. But reheating them, especially more than once, is playing with fire. It doesn't stop there. There's another food, beloved around the world, that becomes dangerous under heat's second touch. Rice. You probably weren't expecting that. Rice is comfort food. It's neutral. It's everywhere. In stir-fry, casseroles, even desserts. But cooked rice, when left sitting at room temperature, even for a couple of hours, becomes a breeding ground for a nasty little bacterium called Bacillus cereus. It doesn't smell. It doesn't taste wrong. But it produces toxins that are resistant to heat. So when you reheat that rice, You're not killing the bacteria, you're activating the toxins they've already released. A 22-year-old student named Alex once ate leftover fried rice from the night before. It had been left on the counter, reheated in the morning, and eaten in a rush before class. By nightfall, he was vomiting violently. By morning, he was dead. Doctors later found Bacillus cereus in his system. The rice hadn't been refrigerated properly. The toxins weren't killed by heat. This case was extreme, but not rare. Every year, thousands are hospitalized with food poisoning traced back to rice. If you're going to eat leftover rice, refrigerate it immediately after cooking. And reheat it thoroughly, but only once. Never reheat it more than once. And if it's been sitting out, throw it away. It's not worth the risk. Now here's one that might hurt a little more. Potatoes. We grow up thinking potatoes are comfort food. Mashed, baked, roasted. They're hearty, filling, and innocent, right? But when cooked potatoes are left to cool at room temperature, especially wrapped in foil, they become a magnet for Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria that causes botulism. Botulism is rare but deadly. It can cause paralysis, even death. When you reheat those potatoes, you might think you're killing bacteria. But like with rice, the heat doesn't always kill the toxins already produced. There was a family in Ohio. A picnic. Foil-wrapped baked potatoes. Left on the counter. Reheated later. 3 people hospitalized. 1 never recovered fully. Botulism is invisible. Odorless. It's not about how the potato looks, it's about how it was stored. So if you're going to keep leftover potatoes, store them in the fridge, not wrapped in foil. And eat them within 24 hours. Reheat only once, and make sure they're steaming hot all the way through. That brings us to the last food, the one almost everyone has in their fridge right now. The one that seems healthy, clean, even detoxifying. Celery. Yes, celery. It's crunchy. It's hydrating. It's great in soups. But that's where the danger begins. Like spinach, celery is high in nitrates. When cooked and then reheated, especially in soups or stews, those nitrates can turn into nitrites, and then nitrosamines. And here's the twist. Because celery is often hidden in recipes, people don't realize they're reheating it. That vegetable soup you made, that chicken stew, that casserole, if it contains celery and you're reheating it, you may be unknowingly increasing your exposure to nitrosamines, which have been linked to cancer development and neurological damage. A woman named Claire made vegetable soup every Sunday. She thought it was the healthiest meal she ate all week. She reheated it daily, shared it with her grandkids. When she began feeling dizzy and sluggish, she blamed age. Her doctor later found elevated nitrosamines in her system. No smoking, no alcohol, no processed meats, just soup with celery. Now, does that mean you should never eat celery? Of course not. Celery is safe raw, safe fresh, even safe when first cooked. But once it's been cooked, left to cool, and reheated, it can become something else entirely, something dangerous. And that's the pattern here. All these foods, spinach, mushrooms, rice, potatoes, celery, they're not bad foods. They're good foods, healthy, even healing. But under the wrong conditions, when they're reheated the wrong way, they shift. They change. And that change can be slow and silent, building up in your system, one bite at a time. You won't feel it instantly, but maybe in a year, maybe 5, your body will begin to show signs of the buildup. Fatigue, gut issues, memory lapses, even chronic disease. So what can you do? First, awareness. Start reading labels on your leftovers the same way you'd read labels in a grocery store. Know what you're putting in your body. Second, refrigerate leftovers immediately. Don't leave rice, potatoes, or anything else sitting out. Third, reheat only once. And do it thoroughly. Not lukewarm. Not just enough. And finally, when in doubt, throw it out. No bite of food is worth risking your health. Now you might be wondering, have I already done damage? Maybe, maybe not. But here's the thing. Your body is resilient. It recovers. It heals. When you start treating it right, it notices. Every small change you make today gives your future self a better chance. So here's your challenge. Go to your fridge tonight. Look at your leftovers. Think about what's in them. Ask yourself if they're worth the risk. Then make a choice, not based on fear, but on wisdom. And if this video opened your eyes, share it with your family, with your parents, with anyone who lives off leftovers and might not know what's hiding in their fridge. Because food should be your medicine, not your poison. You've made it to the end, and that tells me something. You care about your health. You care about knowledge. And you care about protecting the people you love. So hit that like button. Subscribe for more eye-opening videos like this. And leave a comment below. Have you ever gotten sick from leftovers? What's one food you'll never reheat again? We're in this together. Because health doesn't come from perfection. It comes from awareness. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay smart, and stay curious.